It's been 10 years since I have not had a drink or a drug. So therefore, I want to do 10 things that I have learned through this 10-year sobriety journey. So I got sober at the ripe age of 23, which is only 2 years from the beautiful age of 21 of legally consuming alcohol. Basically, I ended up getting sober because I was making terrible decisions, totaling my car multiple times. The last straw was I ended up totaling my car, ended up getting a big old hematoma on my forehead, broke my nose, and obviously now don't have any transportation to get to school. So therefore, I had to find a place that was close so I could finish my last year of college, because that's the whole point of going to college. You gotta graduate. And that was the forefront that I needed to do and accomplish. So I found an apartment that was right across the street from school, and that means I could walk there. But the only problem was the girl that was living in the apartment before me was murdered inside that apartment that I ended up renting because it was heavily discounted, and I'm a college student, so your girl was broke. It's a joke. So I took that as, well, I will light my Jesus candles and pray in there. So those are the poor decisions that alcohol and drugs led me down. There's so many things that you think that you're missing out on, whether it's the college experience of going out and getting it on and popping, or what's happening at this party or that party or this club or whatever it may be. But in actuality, I have a disease. I'm an alcoholic, I'm an addict, and I can't live that lifestyle to that degree without severe consequences. So that's what I learned, and that's what took me into me getting sober at 23 and living the life that I have today. Facing your demons. So I definitely was living that Hannah Montana life, where you have Hannah Montana, which is, you're able to paint your face, look good, show the world what you want them to see, and that's it. And then you have the Miley side, which is the real deal, working the 12-step program, going to AA meetings, working in recovery, calling my sponsor, doing the whole deal. I was definitely living this double life for sure, because I was ashamed of my sobriety. Looking back, I'm not quite sure exactly why, but I was, and I wanted the world to see one side of me, and then really I was, living this total other side that nobody really knew about. And then finally, I became open and honest on Total Divas Season 1, because I wanted to take that narrative and basically beat anybody else to the punch of saying something about my own personal life that they had no idea what they were really saying or talking about. Plus, to be quite honest, I was really in fear of like TMZ or something showing a mugshot of mine on a reality show, and I just wanted to take that and kind of speak about my sobriety, my journey, before anybody else. And once I did do that, it totally opened up my eyes to a whole nother realm of secureness in who I was and who I was becoming and who I am now. Because when you are able to take any of your demons, anything that you're ashamed of, and you're able to own that shit and not be a victim of it, and really work on yourself daily, it gives you all the power, because you know that you're not hiding anything. You're showing, this is who you are, this is who I am, take it or leave it, and you're doing the damn thing, and that's all you can do. And so I feel like that really helped me in my recovery tenfold. This is one where I thought it was something just impossible, and that's to have fun without drinking or go to social events without drinking. And I'm lucky enough, my husband doesn't drink, probably because of yours truly. So he's just decided to not drink for my benefit and his as well. Dude, I know so many people that don't drink and have a killer time. You don't have to have alcohol or any other substances to have a good time. As long as you're with good people and you love whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's sitting around, whether it's going to a movie, going to dinner, etc. Where before I didn't think that was possible, and it definitely is possible. If anything, I've had way more fun not drinking than drinking. Do you think I'm fun?
I think you're the funnest person I know.
I am fun. This lesson is things are definitely not going to be perfect. This is my third time going through or trying sobriety. Hopefully this is my last time, but it's not easy. It's hard. It's hard to admit that you have a problem, and then it's hard to show up for yourself. But ultimately, if you want to change, you have to be willing to do whatever it is that you have to do to get to the end of the tunnel. And if you fall down, I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's one of those things where you have to get back up. And I'm so happy that I got back up and got back into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, or else I wouldn't be celebrating my 10-year sobriety birthday. Technically, if I had stayed the course when I was 23, I would have 15 years? I think, 23, 33? Yeah, 15 years, and I don't have 15 years, I have 10, but that's just the journey. It sucks, and there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations. There's going to be a lot of times where you want to quit, and it's just like with everything in life, the gym or a diet or whatever it is that you want. It's so annoying because all the cliches that you hear are true. Even in my marriage, I relapsed in front of Jonathan, and at the time I thought it was like the end of my whole entire world, but it was the best gift looking back, because he got to see how sick and how much of the disease was in me, and for him to really see how much I need 12 steps and Alcoholics Anonymous and my sponsor in the whole program, because I'll end up ruining a marriage or killing myself or somebody else or winding up in jail. I think one of the main things for me, drinking and doing drugs, I didn't really get into it until I left my parents. So as soon as I guess they use the phrase your wings are clipped or whatnot. I'm Mexican Italian, so I was raised in a really, really strict household. And once I went to college, it was no curfew. I can come and go whenever I want. I don't have to check in with anybody. It was shit, it's on and popping. As soon as I left my parents, went to college, and then stopped playing soccer, which really was, I think, a huge pivotal point for me. That's when things really, really hit the fan, and I started to drink a lot, and that's just because I didn't really have purpose anymore. I didn't feel like I had purpose. And so to escape that reality, I would turn into, drinking and doing drugs, because I thought this is a nice kind of way to escape all of your responsibilities and feel like another person. And really what happened was I continued this cycle of, I was so depressed with who I was and how life was, that it just turned into trying to remember what you said, who you were yelling at, or who you fought with, or what poor decisions you made while you were under the influence. And then it was just this gross cycle. I had to learn the tough way of, you have to face reality. You can't escape it, because it just doesn't go away. It's not like you can snap your fingers and then all of a sudden everything is good again. It's no bitch, you messed up, and then you talk shit to this person, and now you have to fix that mess that you shouldn't have even caused in the first place if you weren't drinking. Those are the things that alcohol and drugs led me to, making poor decisions, not showing up for friends, not showing up for family, not showing up for myself, going to jail for 3 months after graduating college. Who does that? That's not normal. I cap and gown, do the whole thing, my parents are there, sweet. A week later, I'm going to county jail, being hi, I'm here, and then serving, 3 months. The girls in jail, they called me pretty girl, which I think is hilarious, because that's what we call our dog. I have all my letters, by the way, from that time period of my mom writing me and things of that nature. My parents are seriously, shout out to you, Mom and Dad, because I love them with everything. They are my heroes, and I feel terrible in the sense of the pain that I caused them earlier on, but I'm making up for that now. So this next little info, there's a massive debate about it, whether or not alcoholism or addiction is genetic, or if it's one of those things that is just impulse control or whatnot. I believe that it's a little bit of everything in there, and for me personally, I come from definitely a family of addiction. I never got to meet my grandfather because he died of cirrhosis of the liver when my dad was 16. I got to witness all of my brothers make poor decisions because of alcohol. So definitely, whether you're a kid in high school or college watching this, or even a parent, if there is something in your bloodline revolving around alcoholism or addiction, I definitely feel don't be ashamed to have those tough conversations with your kids, just because it's one of those things that it's a pattern, and definitely to look out for, because in my family for sure the proof is in all of the bad decisions that were made. So I think that is definitely something that I have learned, where I wish I paid attention a lot sooner than later. This lesson is all about putting in the work, because once you ask for help or you start attending your AA meetings or whatever, the work is just beginning, because everything is followed by action, action, action. When I was in college, after I graduated, I wanted to dabble into acting and modeling, move to LA and kind of go that route. So I ended up getting an amazing job at Red Bull being a promo model. So I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, this is awesome. But my little demon in my head was telling me that I don't deserve it, I'm not worthy of it, whatever nonsense that she likes to tell me. And so I ended up showing up to my first fitting intoxicated, which then led me to lose my job. So that is why it is imperative for me now to work my 12 steps in Alcoholics Anonymous, because it takes you through how to be a better person, I say, because it teaches you your character defects, taking accountability for your actions, regardless of what has happened to you in the past, whether it was your fault or not. You have a part in everything. You have a choice in all of your situations, and you have to do the work. You have to peel back that layer. You have to look at yourself. It sucks. And we all think, or at least I thought that I was a good person before I went into Alcoholics Anonymous, but I found out that I was really just a selfish piece of shit, and I wanted everything to happen for me and to me without doing any type of work. And that's not life. And so I have to rigorously work through all of that mess so that I can become a better person, acknowledge all of those character defects, and make sure that I don't make those same patterns a habit and kind of self-sabotage future amazing opportunities that come into my life. And that is only through working through the program, because that is how I'm able to pinpoint certain little areas in my life of repeated actions that I don't like happening. Next one is, at the time I had no idea because I never wanted to do this, but the 12th step is acts of service. So you are supposed to give to somebody what was so freely given to you. And what that means is you sponsor other women, you take them through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. And at the time I would kick and scream, because I never wanted to do that, because then you have to reach outside of yourself and make friends with somebody and give your time and energy and all of these other things. But ultimately what I learned is it's so crazy how not only are you now giving someone what was so freely given to you, but ultimately you're reaping all the benefits, because for whatever reason, God works in mysterious ways, but when you're giving yourself to somebody, you end up getting blessings. And ultimately, when you see somebody, especially in Alcoholics Anonymous, come in one way and you see them thrive because of the years and the time and the energy and the work that they have put through, walking through the steps with you, is something that changes your life. And I think that's what it's all about, is giving your time to somebody else so that they can live the best life that they possibly can. This topic is more along the lines of what I've seen through my own family, and the fact that I'm sober now, it brings so much joy and love to my heart to see my parents. I get to show up for them, I'm there for them, I call them every single day, I FaceTime with them every single day, and they're proud of me. And I know that I have taken away the worry that they used to have by thinking, oh my goodness, am I gonna get a call in the middle of the night? Is she dead? Is she in jail? What's going on? Where now they want to brag about me. When people ask how I'm doing, it's not like, oh, she's okay, and they have to lie. It's more along the lines of they can't wait to talk about what Jonathan and I are doing or what we're into, and I think that is something that is worth everything.